Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Gadget Show. My name is Usman and I'm joined, I was going to say each and every week, but recently that has not been the case. But today I'm very happy to have with me our resident gadget expert, Raman. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Where have you been?
Have you missed me?
Yes, of course, very much so. You'd be surprised.
Right.
It's much more difficult
Right.
task without you, but it's all for a good reason, as you will find out in the rest of the show. He has been working very, very hard to bring us the latest and greatest technology, which we are going to review today.
Absolutely, yes.
But as always, we will start with what's going on in the news in the world of technology. So, Raman, fill us in.
Right. I think what I thought was this week we will try and do a CES roundup, the Consumer Electronic Show, the biggest show on earth in terms of the introduction of technology. Kind of sets the mood for the year,
Okay.
and you would get, in an average, I think statistics they say that 20,000 products are launched, or 20,000 exhibitors are there in that particular show, which happens in Las Vegas every year.
Every year, so
Every
ये
year.
ऐसा exhibition है जो नई technology आती है.
हर साल और ये लास वेगस में होता है और it's generally in the beginning of the year, January में होता है, 3 दिन का exhibition और 20,000 exhibitors different products
Okay.
लेके
So
आते हैं.
all the biggest companies are there.
Biggest.
So if you have something to show, you will be there.
You will be there.
Okay.
So
ठीक है.
that's the thing. So what we're going to do is try and cover some of the stories of the Consumer Electronics Show, as it is called. And the thing that I will kick this off with would be, things like, there were 2 big things this time in the show. One was the television, bigger, brighter, better televisions coming in. And obviously the second most important thing was mobile phones.
Yeah.
Better processor, better megapixel camera. So that kind of set the theme for the show. There was a third product as well, which made a lot of headlines, and that was tablets. And this is something that we're going to cover on the show as well. And these were the 3 main, I would say, items around which most of the big brands that we know, telecom companies, consumer electronic companies, they were making a lot of noise around it. And we got to see 3-4 big things. So first, I think one of the biggest announcement was, if you know Intel, which is in the heart of every PC, whether you buy a laptop or desktop, you have an Intel processor in that. So Intel and Motorola announced a tie-up, and Intel is now coming into the remit of making chips for mobile phones.
Oh, okay.
So that was a very big announcement, because Motorola has been acquired by Google, and if you see, Intel is wanting to come into mobile phones, because that is one I would say device which is outselling PCs, laptops, everything combined. So that was one of the biggest announcements, and they're going to be tying up to bring phones that we will get to see in the second half of this year. And they will have the Intel, if I got that right, it's called the Medfield chip.
Okay.
So they introduced the Atom processor for netbooks. You have the Pentium and the iCore 3 and iCore 5 family for desktops and PCs, Xeon for servers, and they've introduced something for mobile phones now. So that was one of the biggest announcements. I think the other things which became kind of quite evident in the show was, there were somber stories. So for example, when you look at mobile phones, every mobile phone today has an 8 megapixel camera, 10 megapixel, 12 megapixel camera. So 5 megapixel camera has become kind of the entry level now.
The absolute minimum.
Absolute minimum. If you are bringing out a new tablet, or if you are bringing out a device, अगर आप कोई नई चीज़ निकाल रहे हैं और उसमें कैमरा इंटीग्रेटेड है, तो आपका minimum जो बार है वो 5 megapixel हो गया है. So industry in a way has embraced the fact that today the resolution of camera is increasing, and on much more on portable devices. So 5 megapixel has become the bare minimum as far as the entry is concerned.
If you have a phone which doesn't have a 5 megapixel camera, we suggest that it goes straight into the bin. Now I'm only joking. If it's not something that you use, but
Absolutely. I think the next other story was, which we have been talking about in the show, is Ultrabooks. If you see the Apple MacBook Air, it kind of sets the tone that it is the slimmest, thinnest notebook in the market. And we've got a visual on the screen right now, and we've got 2 Ultrabooks, one from Samsung, and there's another visual which we can have on the screen. And ये जो Ultrabook आ रही है, this is an initiative introduced by Intel.
Is this a brand name, or is this just a generic name for this type of device?
It is a brand name.
Okay.
It is Ultra with a U, which is capital, and it is trademarked by Intel. So Intel ने इसके पीछे $300 million का fund बनाया है, and what they're trying to do is basically ask all the PC manufacturers to kind of come and collaborate with it and then introduce Ultrabooks.
Oh, okay.
Because going forward, the market is looking like the era in which we are living is looking like that everything will be on the internet. So people need today things on the internet, and things remain on the cloud. That means aapki email, aapka pictures, photos, music is all on the cloud. Wherever you sign in into a particular product or a device, it is going to become an access related environment. So whether आप mobile phone से करें, notebook से करें, ultrabook से करें, that is going to be the initiative. And Intel is now promoting something which is what they're bringing out is laptops in a way, but they're calling it ultrabooks, but very thin, which have good battery backup of up to 10 hours.
Okay.
And the key thing about them will be that it will not have an optical drive. So इसमें आपका DVD writer नहीं होगा. You will not have drives in it, and everything is going to be hardware. That means hard drive based or internet based, and they are going to be very, very sleek. And they're going to try and compete with the likes of the Apple MacBook Air, which are considered thin and light as far as the laptops are concerned in this category. So this was a major announcement, and we will probably get to see some of these products getting launched, more aggressively. We'll see more options available. So as of now, Asus has launched, which is a Taiwanese maker, which has endorsed this. And then you have Samsung and a couple of others, but you will get to see this coming from a lot of other manufacturers. So that was one of the biggest, kind of things. And there's another visual that we have for, I think, Apple MacBook Air, just to draw a comparison, which we'll try and see and bring it on. There's Ultrabook 1, and there's another Ultrabook picture that we have.
So obviously at the moment, according to what Intel think, that they feel as though the MacBook Air is the sort of
kind
standard.
Of sets the standard,
So they're trying to obviously emulate that.
I think one of the other big stories was that we've had televisions, plasmas and LCDs and LEDs and OLEDs now. And one of the key things which caught our attention was the launch of a lot of LED, OLED televisions which have higher resolutions. So today when we look at a television, it is 1080p. If I define that in layman's term, you're looking at drawing a 1 square inch square, and in that you put in 1080 dots. But the resolution, for the first time, they've shown up to 4K, which is 4,000 resolution as far as TVs is concerned. And there were a lot of announcements by LG, Samsung, Panasonic, Toshiba, Sharp, and all of them released a lot of different products. But if you look at one of the pictures, we will show you visuals of the LG LED TV, which will come on the screen, which caught our attention. Was it's got a very unique design, and it's a 55-inch OLED television, which is 3D, as well as you can see, it's got razor sharp and thin bezel. You barely can see the border. And these are going to be the norm this year. So we know that LED TVs have been in existence for a couple of years, but I think this year, second half, we will see them going mainstream. So they will become affordable. इनकी cost जो है, they will come down drastically. So आज अगर आप LED TV खरीदें तो आपको मतलब 800-900 pound में अच्छा TV मिल जाता है. But I think the cost is going to further come down, and the sizes are going to become bigger. So आप 55-inch, 50-inch will become kind of a standard as far as television is concerned, for new buyers at home. So this was one of the other major announcements. And sticking to the fact that we are with TVs and mobile phones, we've seen the launch of Nokia Lumia. And one of the key things which were absent from that phone was Microsoft acquired Skype, but Skype as a feature or an app was not available on Windows Phone. So there was an announcement, and obviously this is going to be made available soon on Nokia Lumia. Incidentally, they made announcements that they've sold or already sold 1 million of these phones. And as time goes on, the partnership seems to be working between the two. And those are some of the big stories which came out of CES. But there were loads of other things. I think some of the things that caught our attention was one of the visuals we'll show you on the screen will be a USB hub.
Okay.
Something. How many USB devices do you have?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot, right?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Now, if you have to charge them, we all have separate chargers for all these.
Yeah.
So if you have an iPad, you have an iPhone, and you have an Android tablet, or you have something which is different, you'll probably see on the screen there is something called a 16 USB dock charger, which allows you to simultaneously charge up to 16 devices on the go, and it is powered through a battery, as you can see a visual. So quite innovative. And then something keeping in mind, we've all got phones, smartphones, and they can straight away be charged, or whenever I'm in the office, charging it.
I've actually heard of people when they're getting electronics put into their house, instead of having a plug socket, some places next to the plug socket there's actually a USB port.
Absolutely.
Is this correct?
That is
I've
correct.
heard the rumor, but I don't know whether this is actually possible.
No, this is absolutely correct. And what a brilliant point that you brought up is that, you know, if you're going to see a stark change, आपके घर में TV socket होता था, phone socket होता था और बिजली का socket होते थे. You know, you had extensions all across the room, your bedroom and living room and stuff. Now people have started asking for plugging in USB sockets. So straight away, it'll have a converter in the background, but you know, you'll have something which will be, you know, you'll be allowed to, you can plug in straight away on USB.
Just plug it straight in.
Charge it from there straight away.
I thought that was I wasn't sure, but obviously I thought I'd ask you.
No, this is something which is already moving in, and I think people have started placing this requirement. So this is something that you will start seeing in homes now. Keeping in mind, everything is now more or less, you know, gadgetry-wise, chargeable through a USB.
Quick point about what you're talking about Skype. Do you think it's coming to the end of a point where anyone will have to pay in terms of call charges? It's seen as though it's all going to be internet-based. Do you think there'll be a point where you will just pay for internet on your phone, and then that will obviously, you go take your calls through there, you do your messages through there, you email through there? Because 2 weeks ago I was talking about different apps where you can use to place calls, to send messages, pictures, etc. And seen as though Skype's now available on a mobile phone, if you've got it, I've got it, why am I going to use up call charges?
Well, it's a good question, but you know, you'll have to look at it from a macro context. First is your network speeds and quality in terms of connect quality has to be quite good. So Skype is still a free service when you're using it on the phone, and you know, carrier, the signal through which it is going, you will still need a carrier. So if I'm on Vodafone and you're on, say for example, O2, you will still need a carrier to connect those calls.
No, that's correct. In terms of call charges though.
In terms of call charges, I think with newer technologies coming in and our, you know, drive for more and more speeds, you will probably have this available in some countries, like for example, in underdeveloped countries or in countries wherein this technology is still coming in. You'll probably see this happening because what they will want to do is get subscribers on, giving some free minutes, like Virgin, for example, I know has done it in India. What they do is they basically give you certain top-ups if you use certain applications. And there will be such, you know, marketing ingenious plans which will come up. But I think long-term stay, you need quality, you need good connect, and you need something which is, you know, proven and stable. I can visualize for about 5-6 years, but I don't know what might happen in the next decade. So maybe, I really don't know.
No, it's just that there's a lot of people out there that I know that really don't make calls as such. They're obviously texting. Or they're, I don't know, they're using some sort of Skype or FaceTime or BlackBerry Messenger.
I agree.
So there's so many ways of contacting without actually having to pick up the phone and place a call. So it's all internet-based.
You know, I think it is, again, a bit subjective in the sense it's personal, you know, user-driven. So it's a bit personal in the sense that I might use it when I'm probably, you know, talking to family or friends overseas. But when I'm probably in a particular network, in a particular geography, and if the minutes are free, I think probably we'll use that. So remains to be seen. I think it's user-driven.
Fair enough. So is that all we've got for the...
We've got lots of things. I think we'll keep covering that during the course of the show. But I think these are some of the major stories which, you know, made major announcements.
Change towards the end of the year. All these things you're going to see. So अब देखते रहें जो बात हम आपको आज बता रहे हैं शायद you know साल के end तक आप देखें कि हो रमन ने मुझे तो कितने महीने पहले बताई थी. So you remember where you heard it here first. We're going to move on to the review section. We're going to move on to our review section, and we are very privileged to have two of the hottest devices in terms of tablets here at the moment. Would you like to let us know?
Well, I think a lot of viewers have asked us this question. हर मतलब, you know, email में या you know tweet में या blog में message में हमें ये user ने पूछा है कि मैं iPad लूँ या मैं Android based tablet लूँ. You know, so these are two, you know, ecosystems, and these two ecosystems are looking at each other, and people are wanting to find out कि iPad अच्छा है या Android based tablet अच्छे हैं. So what we've done is this week we're going to do a live review on the television, wherein we've brought in an iPad and we've also brought in a Android based tablet, which is the Galaxy Tab. And incidentally, because these two are the fastest selling tablets in the market, it will be a good way to communicate certain things to our users. You know, आप जो देख रहे हैं टीवी पे आपको खुद पता लगेगा कि आप खुद जज कर सकते हैं कौन सी चीज़ आपके लिए बेटर है. So what we did was we got hold of Samsung Galaxy Tab, which is this tablet, This is based on the Android operating system and ये भी काफ़ी sleek और thin है. और as usual जो हम review करेंगे अपने tablets का वो करेंगे हम 5 different parameters पे. और ये आपका Apple का iPad है, which is the iPad 2. We've got hold of the 3G version, so that means अगर आप out and about हैं तो इसमें SIM card लगा हुआ है और आप इसको carrier network पे भी use कर सकते हैं. So we've got a usual 64 gig iPad 2 with Wi-Fi and 3G, and on the other hand, for the Android-based tablet, we've got hold of the Samsung Galaxy Tab, which is based on the Android operating system, and it's pretty much similar in dimension and size. Right, couple of things that I will start with. First, I will start with the Android tablet, which is the Samsung Android. अगर आप इसका interface देखें, this is landscape and this is obviously portrait, but इसका interface अगर आप देखें तो 4 या 5 चीज़ों में हम उसको divide करेंगे. Number one will be what we are looking at essentially is the touch. How good is the tablet in terms of its touch interface? So as you can see, I think the touch interface is quite good. The touch sensitivity on the screen is quite good, and I can go between different applications quite easily. Going to try and launch one of the applications, say for example YouTube. Here already Wi-Fi hai. These are all Wi-Fi tablets, and we've configured this. We've configured this with the Wi-Fi in the studio, and as you can see, when I touch the YouTube launch button, I could straight away launch YouTube. So मैंने YouTube click किया है, उस पे हमने एक predefined video already खोला हुआ है, and that is something which I can start playing straight away.
Curating 5 of my fave YouTube videos.
The quality of the video is quite good because obviously it is coming on through the Wi-Fi network. It basically has a landscape and a portrait mode, so it can adjust automatically. Tilt हो जाता है ये. You can see it full screen, and obviously you can see some of the other favorite videos coming across on the screen side by side. The volume quality on the Samsung, when I look at, because most of these has got ये जो है इनके अंदर अपने speaker लगे होते हैं, and the quality of sound is quite good. Quite good. Let me just stop this quickly. It's quite good on the tablet. So in terms of the interface, the touch, and I would say the speaker quality, the tablet is very good. And this model, a particular model that we've brought in for a review, is a 16 gig Samsung Galaxy Tab, which has an Android operating system loaded on it. I will keep that aside and I will go on to the iPad, the Apple iPad. Now, obviously, iPad has kind of set the benchmark, let me put it this way, Simple reason, it was first to market. They brought in some new features which have been quite promising, and obviously, people have taken to the tablets first from Apple. In this, the interface in terms of touch is very good and it is very smooth. The reason why I say this is because I think the touch screen on the iPad is brilliant. It just straight away adapts to your, when you're touching it, and obviously I would say the connectivity between the various screens, or when you're going from one screen to the other, is seamless. Going on to launching, say for example here YouTube, and looking at say for example the featured videos today.
So what we'll do while you're loading up the video, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back very, very soon for this Samsung Galaxy versus iPad conundrum. What's going to win? You'll only find out if you join us in a little while. Welcome back to the Gadget Show, where we are currently reviewing 2 of the most sought after devices or pieces of technology on the market. We have in the studio with us, we have an iPad 2, and we also have a Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1. And you're in the middle of
loading
showing
the same
us some
video.
videos,
Yeah, absolutely. Just to recap on what we covered so far. So we were looking at the two tablets, Samsung Galaxy Tab and the iPad 2, and they're quite similar in terms of the size, the thinness of this, of the product, the battery life, and obviously things like the screen size. It's 9.7 inches for the iPad, and I think 9.7 or 9.8 for the Galaxy Tab. Right. We were looking at the touch sensitivity on the iPad, and obviously on this we just feel that the sensitivity of the screen is much better than the implementation of on the Galaxy Tab. Going on to YouTube, we were looking at doing a quick review of one of the videos, and looking at doing that, obviously what we found was I just kind of, it is again something that we found in the review is when you look at the video, it's much better in terms of quality, and in terms of the sound output, I would say they're quite equal. They both got stereo speaker. The Samsung Galaxy Tab has a 5+1 Dolby implemented on its surround sound, but the quality of the video I just feel is a bit better as far as the iPad is concerned.
Do you think that's down to, is it the actual resolution which is better, or is it the brightness of the screen or the colors which come out?
I think it is to do with all of them. In terms of, if I look at the screen, on the Samsung Galaxy, this typically has a OLED screen, which is far superior. But when I look at the resolution, I think both of them typically fare more or less the same. But it is, I think the implementation, the way the screen quality has been laid out, it looks much better on, obviously the iPad. So if I look at the video here, just playing that video. So the quality of the video just feels a bit nicer, even though the screen, I think, is a bit better on the iPad.
We're at the Bowery Hotel talking about.
Right, next application that we will go to is, अगर आप ये tablet खरीद रहे हैं, you are basically buying this for 3-4 big, things. One, आप internet अपना इस पे browse करना चाहते हैं. You want to look at your emails on this. And the third most important thing is, this is a device on which you can practically do any sort of application because of the ecosystem it surrounds. So iPad पे तकरीबन 500,000 apps available हैं, and Android पे भी तकरीबन 500,000 apps available हैं. So अगर आप apps को देखें, so let's look at one of the apps जो हम लोग इस पे काफ़ी use करते हैं. And अगर मैं उसको देखूँ ये वाली app, so one of the apps that we keep using is the email app. And if I look at the email app, for example, how does it start? So if I just click a widget, and from there I straight away go and choose my account. Sorry, one second. Go and choose my account, and from my account, when I choose, go to the inbox, and I can straight away see my messages. And if I can read my message, this message go, because of the touch interface which has been implemented, I can essentially, as you can see, zoom and magnify, which is pinch and zoom. And I can magnify that on the iPad straight away. And I can, do a couple of things, look at the other emails, and obviously, do most of the things which are required. So on both the devices, if I use email, I think email implementation has been done extremely well. I will just quickly show this.
In the meantime, what we'll do, we've got a caller on the line, so we'll just take a quick call. Hello?
Hello, young man. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
This is Anwar Coker from London.
Hi, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, well, could you give me some information about this latest Nokia C103, I think something?
Right, okay.
Because I want to send it away. How it is like? It's in a gold plate. It's gold cover. It's 149 in some stores, yeah.
Right, okay.
And the black one is 129.
What's the brand? What's the model number? Sorry.
Nokia.
What's the full brand number?
Pardon?
What's the full name of the phone?
I'm idiot when it comes to these electronic devices. It's C103, I think.
C103. It's a Nokia device.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to know the benefits of it?
Yeah, is it good or not? I mean, I want to send it away as a gift, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what kind of things would you want it to do?
Well, it's a touch screen as well as keyboard. You use the both on it.
Okay.
And it's got internet and 5-pixel max camera, yeah?
Right, okay, no problem. Right, that's fine. Thanks for your call. Give us a couple of minutes.
As usual, it's a
yeah, just keep watching the show.
yeah?
We'll give you the information that you require.
Okay,
Thank you very much for
Bye.
calling in. So you're asking about a specific particular phone that you want to buy. Even though it's not part of the review today, we can possibly, if we get time, we'll include that a little bit later on.
Yep.
Have you got a picture of it by any chance?
To be honest, no, but we will have a look at it. I think the C103 is, I think it's not a new model. It's been introduced some time back. And some of the Nokia models, when they are introduced only in certain geographies because it might